Got my version, but let's hear Jordan's.
Yeah, versions are, it's probably a Rashomon, slightly different versions. Henry didn't know it when he reached out, but he's, been a hero of mine since childhood. I remember I was probably 13 years old, 12 or 13 years old, and my mother, who's in the audience tonight, had was about to come out, and mother had the wherewithal. She knew this, she could tell it was going to be something special. So she bought me these figures before it came out. I just remember this very clearly. And so, and then it came out, and of course, was this piece of instant nostalgia, and this connection to a style and a craft of stop-start, a level of craft I had never seen. So we met each other about 7 years ago now, and this was before Get Out, because we were still doing Peele, and he reached out with this project and said, "I've got this thing, and you two," he was inspired by the Terry characters from Keegan-Michael. The Dragons arms. He said, if I had this idea of making these demon characters, and he had this wonderful sort of dark fairy tale, or this grounded story that he wanted to tell. And we hit it off. It was very hard for me to keep my cool. Very hard for me to keep my cool. And at some point, you said you had recently realized that you had gone into your ancestry and realized you were an octoroon, and I said, "Let's go." I said, "We're making it." True story. No, but it was the notion of getting to work with Henry was just a lifelong dream come true, and that's how it was for me. And so it was just a yes all the way from the beginning.
Lyric, how did you come to be part of the project?
What I remember, this was about.
How far back did you record the?
I want to say we started maybe 4 years ago. Yeah. I know I auditioned for it when I was still living in Chicago. And, oh, we got Chicago But yes, and then I shortly after that I moved to LA, and that is actually when I met Henry, and we had a conversation about this whole project, and I had to say yes, and that's when we started the whole thing. I want to say we were in the studio, like we actually were doing things in the studio for about 2 years, and then the pandemic hit, and we had to move things over to the apartment. And me and Henry were just talking about this, how my mom really hooked the closet up to make it a professional studio. But yeah, it was a fun journey and a great experience.
And oftentimes, the voices are, recording the voices often at the beginning of the process. And so, did you get a sense? Was there like a statue of the character? Did you get to see the character designs in advance of doing the performance there?
I actually got to see the design of the character. I want to say the first day I went to the studio, and I was in awe. I was like, "Oh my God, that's me!" It was crazy.
Yeah, Lyric contributed so much to Catherine's. You had an idea and you write lines, but she sort of got in tune with the character, the essence of Cat. And by the second recording session we had, she was telling me Cat didn't say that. She knew the character better than me. That's what you look for. And it's an incredibly critical character, and I listened to a whole lot of people finding her. It was like the oxygen we needed to start making a film.
Was there a lot of improvisation in those recording sessions? Jordan and Keegan, what was those recording sessions like? Did you have, because were those recording sessions during the pandemic? Were you able to work together?
It is so spread out.
It is so epic, the amount of time it took to make this project. In the beginning, we recorded together, often as we possibly could.
And having us in the booth together, especially after like a long amount of time, for Henry, it must be kind of akin to having like 30 squirrels. Yeah, there's a script there, yes.
Squirrels that bite. Squirrels that bite, right, and wrestle. But there's something that I always remember, Henry, a visual was always seeing you sit. He would sit on a stool in the corner about 10 feet away from us, and we would just be talking to each other back and forth and improvising. And it was as if we were conducting or listening to music. He would just look like this, and we'd go, oh, stop there, that's a good direction. Let's keep, no, oh, what? Oh, that was really, I love watching this. You just, there we go, oh yeah, that's good. What did you just say, Jordan? And so we would just riff, and then if something's not good, his hand goes over here and says, oh, you know, that's not good. We're like, no, and he's like, no, just scratch it. That was good. No, we got 4 comedy hours worth of outtakes. You're not gonna stop. When these two start to perform and getting into it, that work together a while, getting into it, and you're just in awe of how far they can riff on something. Just like a single word, the meaning of a single word. No, it means this. No, it means this to me. And
Were there ever any moments where they would go off on a riff that you then realize, oh no, now we have to animate this because I want to keep this. I want to keep this in the movie.
No, it's never like that. It's more like they had to go off to find those characters, and there's lots and lots of pieces they just came up with, and tones they came up with. I wouldn't come up with them. They needed that freedom, and then plug and pick and use surgery to get the good things in it.
With respect to the script, one thing that really struck me about the film is some of the themes of, activism within one's community and the idea that it is possible to change communities and break those cycles. I'd like to just hear from the team just about how that was very important to the story.
Why don't I go last?
Well, I think the story in many ways is, obviously it's about Kat, and it's about this idea that you can conquer and work with your demons. Henry has this ability to craft a story that is of just a unique tone, right? A tone you don't see anywhere. It's a tone that's genuinely scary, and at the same time, it's got a little whimsical. It's got the whimsy of a fairy tale, as I said before. The ideas of putting the nods to the prison industrial complex.
Yes. Which is heavy material.
Heavy stuff for kids. Fairy tale. But that doesn't mean it doesn't.
But fairy tales, originally they were always heavy stuff.
Right. There's a cautionary tale there, and so. Yeah, I think that there is a connection to the character Kat and to the sort of exercising of the demons of the city as well. It's just really beautiful, and particularly I just love the sequence of Kat's metamorphosis. I think it's so her breaking the chains and working with this representation of her demon. I think it's such a beautiful metaphor, and I love this type of content because, like I said, I think whoever you are, whatever age you are picking things up, and you're picking things up in common with one another. And that's just a very special type of movie, and I'm really proud to be part of it.
Henry, do you want to add to that?
I want to give a shout out to my wife, Heather, who's here, because including 10 years as a special needs advocate for kids in trouble, going all the way from kids on the spectrum to kids about to be put into the school to prison pipeline. I learned so much about no strike policies where kids are pushed right out for the slightest infraction, and she saved a lot of kids. She got in there and protected them and kept them in school, and through that, it just became like, well, who would the worst villains be? And it was never going to be the demons. It was never going to be Buffalo Belzer. It's always going to be people.
Yeah.
And it just worked its way in there. So it's not that the whole story is about that, but it's something real that I thought was a good anchor.
One of my favorite scenes is just when the progressive members of the community are stymied by the fact that literal conservative zombies have wandered in, and they're like, well, it's in the rule book, they can vote. There's a particular moment that, where that idea came to mind, in the writing of the process that had to happen.
Oh, it evolved, like you fine tune it. We had a little extra time to tune everything.
It's watching Henry's career, and he's made these iconic films, and we had conversations about the journeys of these films, and the limitations and these things, and there's something about this idea that you can make something animated, you can make something wondrous, and have it be unnerving to, have it be really scary. It's really challenging, and it feels like the world is really educated to who Henry Selick is and who he is as an artist. And this is an extension of that, and I truly believe that horror is not just something for adults. And this is a world, and we live in a country where we're training kids to run at shooters. And it feels very much to me like they're old enough and mature enough to talk about and see stories about really big, important, dark things.
Protecting kids too much is a huge disservice. That's the original fairy tales were about. Yeah, there's witches, there's monsters that will eat you, and you need to know that. And it was meant for kids. It was warning and meant to be entertaining. But a good scare is something I always strive for, and not a good scar.
We're going to be going to the audience after one more question. Third, I just wanted to ask, had you had the opportunity to see the film before today, like completed? Oh, okay. Well, when you first watched it for the first time, was there anything that surprised you that you weren't expecting? Just because, again, this has been such a long process, and at the beginning, nothing's animated yet. You're just seeing the designs.
Personally, I thought I sounded very cool.
I agree.